Today I'm going to talk about the things that we pick up being a witness that aren't the most positive things. Now, I'm not somebody that's going to stand here and tell you that everything was negative, because it wasn't. There's a lot of good qualities that we pick up that we can keep. You know, for instance, I don't have a potty mouth. I'm not judging anybody that does, but I like that about myself. I don't have to catch myself all the time. It's just not my normal vernacular, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that I know how to respect women. Right? I'm not somebody who has to always have an agenda about that. I probably got that from the witnesses, right? There's some good things about having come up that way. So don't ever look at it like everything has to be bad. Whatever your path in life, there's going to be a silver lining to it, so acknowledge that. But there are some things that don't fit as you try to acclimate to the real world. Being a witness is like taking your electronics, or coming out of the witnesses, it's like taking your electronics and going to Europe and trying to plug it in. It's different there. You got to get an adapter to make your electronics work. So it's kind of like that as you try to move on with your life. There's some things that you will take into the real world with you, and it doesn't work very well. For instance, how many of you struggle with, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, with who am I now? Now that I've left, who am I? No sense of identity. I talked about this yesterday. Being a witness, it takes up so much of your life. It's the core of your life. You take it away, and there's a giant void in you. Who am I? And you feel out of place when you try to hang out with other people. You feel out of place, just like last month during the holiday seasons for a lot of you. How do I handle this? How do I act? Should I get a Christmas tree or not? You know, should I, I want to try to be worldly. Right? First thing people do a lot of times is try to figure out what's worldly. I mean, when you guys just grow facial hair and sickening it out, right? Or you're just doing something that you thought, or you think this is what it's supposed to be, instead of just figuring out who you are. You know, for some of you, who you really are and how you're going to behave in the real world, for some of you, it's not all that different. And that's okay. There's a lot of people who never were witnesses that kind of act like witnesses. You ever meet somebody like that? They just were raised a particular way, and they don't have a need to do a lot of the things that people do. Some people don't celebrate Christmas and never were witnesses. Some people just don't like the commercialism of it all. Some people just like to save money. Some people just like to walk your own path. So don't try to force yourself to be something you're not. If buying a Christmas tree feels weird, don't buy a Christmas tree. If it comes natural to you and you just fall into it, and buy one. You don't have to try to be something. I've never decorated my house for Christmas. I don't want to spend the money. Who cares? My kids are grown. And they're still witnesses. So, I mean, for me, it's just not something I do. I'll go to a good party any day. You give me a good party to go to, I'm there, right? But I'm like, man, I've never spent this money buying a whole bunch of people gifts. Why am I going to start now? I'll just save my money. It's just not that important to me. You know, my birthday, I've had some great birthday parties for me. Good. Somebody throws it, I enjoy myself. I've had others just go by and nothing happens. Okay? It's just not that big a deal for me. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not something I feel I'm forced to do. I don't have that, I have a lot of friends that were never witnesses. Their birthday is such a big deal. One friend comes to mind in particular. Whenever it doesn't go right, like sometimes she makes this huge party and people don't show up or something, she's devastated. I don't have that pressure. It's okay. I kind of enjoy being who I am because I don't put such importance on those things. That I enjoy it when it happens, right? So just be okay with where you are. Some people leave the witnesses and they go right into it, and they love it. And that's okay too. So don't compare yourself to other people. Be okay where you are on the journey, and then go within to get to know yourself. One reason why people, when somebody has a question, you have a question? I have an experience. Sure. Okay, come up here and give your experience.
I'm naturally a shy person, but I'm going to get up here. My son is 30 now. We left when he was a teenager. He was 16. So, of course, he never had Christmases. But once I got into celebrating Christmas, I failed at celebrating. I love it. I love buying presents. I love giving people. But this year, he's newlywed, and he and his wife were over at my house for Christmas. And, of course, I shop all year long because I love it. Yeah. And he came over for breakfast last weekend, and he was by himself, just me and him. He goes, Mom, he goes, I got to tell you something. And I knew what it was. I just knew. He goes, I understand why you do it. He says, but it's overwhelming. He said, you just can't keep doing it. It's so overwhelming. He said, but I understand why. Because I want to make up for all the years that he didn't. But yeah, we do things differently now, and some of us love Christmas, and some of us don't have anything to do.
And it's all good either way, right? It's good. You know, I always, when I date somebody new, I always let them know, I give them a heads up. I say, I suck at birthdays. You need to know that about me. Because the first couple of girls I dated, I just absolutely disappointed them because they're planning my birthday 2 months out, something awesome. And then I wake up, is it your birthday today? I didn't even think about it because I don't even think about my own birthday. I've had birthdays, it's half the day is done before I figure out my birthday. Right? It is disappointing. So I gotta let people know, I really suck at this. We didn't buy each other gifts. Witnesses always tell you, well, we give gifts all year long. No, you don't. My first gift was my graduation. Then my wedding, and then it was over.
Don't be liars to me.
We give gifts, no, you don't. Right? So it's just something that wasn't bred into you. And it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel like you're weird. Because there's other people, for whatever reason, they go through the same stuff. Okay? If you're looking for yourself, go within. And Julia said something so important. Is she went within. She went back to when she was a child. And that's what your truth was. Children gravitate to what they love. If a child loves blocks, they want to play with blocks all day long. They love playing outside and playing sports. They'll make up a sport. They'll get a ball and a stick and make up something new, right? The kid loves computers. They're on computer all day long. They love building trains or dolls. They tell you who they are. And then what happens is parents abduct their children from what they love and say, this is what you're going to love. This is what you're going to believe. This is what's important. And for a lot of us, we got kind of hijacked from our natural path. This is what you love. You love field service, little boy or girl. What you love is waking up on Saturday morning and knocking on the grown people's doors. And this is what you love. How many assemblies did you go up there, little kids like, and I love, no you don't. No little kid wants to go knock on strangers' doors. Right? How many of you were envious watching those kids ride their bikes on a Saturday morning and like cartoons? They're trying to pull you away from your cartoons. Right. Y'all coming up now is spoiled. You get cartoons every day. For us, it was Saturday morning. That's all we had. Those days that your parents weren't going out for some reason, it was like, ah. But get back to what you love. Look at the hobbies, look at the things you're drawn to. Like if you love outdoors, just go spend a lot of time outdoors, go hiking, find hobbies, find things that you love. Look at the things that touch your heart. You know, if doing things for people touches your heart, go and do things for people, volunteer. Go and add value to other people and see what you feel like. Test a lot of things. I had a woman in the group that I was coaching, and she said, you know, I've always been fascinated with Habitat for Humanity. And I was like, go for it. And she went down there and they were like, okay, we can find you a good office. But no, I want to pound nails with the boys. And she did. Every Thursday she'd go down there and pound nails and help build these homes. And the guys loved it. They just loved having her around. And it just filled her heart and it just led her in the direction. And then she started to find themselves. You see, finding yourself, if you're trying to figure out who you are, is not out there. A lot of people try to find themselves, maybe if I get the right man, or maybe if I move from here to here. That's not it. Finding yourself is an inside job. And a lot of people change a lot of things in their life, and they just go from one thing to another trying to define themselves, and that's not how you find yourself. And again, as a witness, we had a kind of false illusion about all of this, because as a witness, your validation was based on how you appeared to others, how you played the game. Because a lot of people weren't really that person, right? It was just like, you know, hello, brother so-and-so, hello, brother Waters. Hey, brother, all good? You don't know each other when you're talking like that. You really don't. Right, but it's based on appearances, you know, getting the suit right, the tie right, the right haircut, doing a little bit of activities they're looking for, and just appearing a certain way. So a lot of times we're looking to appear a certain way in front of the people, thinking that we're going to find ourselves through the validation of other people, and it doesn't work like that. You got to go within yourself and see the things that affect you. You got to identify your gifts and talents. What is your inner calling? There's something in you that you're called to do. You can feel it if you listen. Like what I do today as a speaker, I don't just speak to witnesses, I speak to all kinds of groups. But that was a calling for me. It's something that I felt inside I needed to do. I was in the sewage pumping business for 20 years. Does that seem like a fit for me? I don't think so. I mean, I did well in it, but it's not. I mean, if I never heard the word septic tank ever again in my life, it would be okay, right? Because it was just, my dad did something similar, so I got into it and I started a business. And a lot of times we're just not feeling ourselves, right? So look at your life. There's clues. If you're honest with your life, there's clues. I'll give you, like for myself, I was the guy that was the MC at every witness wedding. I've emceed probably 15 or 20 witness weddings when I was a witness. Is that a clue? It's a clue. Look at the clues. Look at what you love. Look at what you find fulfillment of. And understand this, when you're looking for yourself, one reason why people have a hard time finding themselves is they confuse confidence with conceit. So they're afraid to admit what they're gifted at. Remember, the gifts that you are given are not about you. You are merely the vessel the gift comes through. So there's no reason to play small. Don't act like you're not good at what you're good at. Raise your hand if you have a hard time taking compliments. Why? Why? That's your gift. And you will never turn good into great if you don't acknowledge your gift. It's not about you anyway. I'm a gifted speaker. I know that. I'm not going to say I'm not. I am. It's a gift that comes through me. It doesn't make me one iota better than anybody else. That's just my gift. Somebody else has a different gift that I'm absolutely horrible at.
Can you knit a sweater?
Excuse me?
Can you knit a sweater? Can you knit a
No,
sweater?
I was sick 2 weeks ago and it's still coming down.
She's asking if you have the talent to knit a sweater.
Oh, I think you need a sweater. I'm cold. I was like, yeah, give me a sweater. But I sure enough can't knit a sweater. Oh my God! We had home economics when I was in school still. You remember that? The stuff I would make was so horrible. Oh my God! We made a Velcro wallet. Mine was so twisted. I was horrible, horrible. No, all that stuff, no good. Cooking, horrible. I don't even trust my cooking. My stomach knots up before I even eat it. Horrible. Yet there's other people who just like, they know just what it needs. Like, your tongue is magical. How did you know that? It's a gift. Never, ever push away a compliment, because when you push away a compliment, it means that you're the same person who welcomes the criticism. You see what I'm saying? See how off balance that is? Because when somebody says something negative, you welcome that. Look, I make YouTube videos. 80 positive comments. That was great. Oh my God, that was awesome. Oh my God, I love that video. But you know you're going to have about 3 idiots in there. What does the mind naturally want to focus on? Right? I'm going to share with you this exercise I did with this one course I took. And it was intense. It's one of those, I don't know if any of you did Psi, Landmark, those type of really intense courses or something like that. So this session went long. This was the first day. We had 86 people in the class. And I had done those things before. And one of the exercises was, and it's long, they do them long on purpose because your inhibitions go down and your honesty kind of comes out late at night. So during the day, because I'd done this before, the facilitator was asking a lot of questions and people were afraid to raise their hand because, man, she was a tough lady. I mean, people just didn't really want to, they just wanted to be in the corner watching, right? But I was not afraid. I raised my hand. I'm participating all day long. I'm the one guy who's raising his hand. I thought it was going to be more formal. I have a suit on. Everybody else is dressed like I am now, real casual. Okay. So, end of the first night, she goes, okay, get in a big circle. And she gives the instructions. She goes, the next 15 minutes, go to as many people as you can, and you say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and this is what I don't like about you. Brutal. I mean, we had these timid little ladies that just had these big eyes, and how am I going to devastate the woman telling you I don't like this about you? Okay? Now, here's the guy with the suit on who's been raising his hand all day. Who does everybody have an opinion about? Because everybody else is quiet. Okay? And if you were the #1 most disliked person, you had to say, this is what I like about you, and you're my #1. Like your #1 most disliked person. All right, so people kept coming up to me and go, hi, I'm Sally, and what I don't like about you is you're arrogant. You're arrogant. You're a know-it-all. You're arrogant over and over and over and over again. And 2 people said, and you're my #1. There was another kid in the class. He was young. He was like 21, 22 years old. He kept challenging the facilitator all day long. I mean, he was just really, really combative, confrontational. There's a line of people, 30 long, probably, waiting to get to him because nobody liked him. you're my number one, you're my number one, you're my number one. Nobody liked it, right? But I had two people tell me that. So we get back in the big circle. I'm devastated. I'm like, man, do I really come off as arrogant and a know-it-all? And man, I better check myself. I'm just devastated. Next exercise, you had to say what you liked about somebody. And if you were the number one most liked person, you had to say that. He came up to me, you're confident, you're self-assured, you're confident. And I had the same line like that kid telling me I was the number one most liked person. How close is conceit and confidence? It's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? For some people, merely wearing a suit made them think you must think you somebody, right? And that's a lot of witnesses. Like I remember there's a couple of times I did a speaking engagement and I came back home and I did a Facebook Live in the group, this is years ago. A suit reminded them of an elder. So I try not to wear suits when I go on there. It triggers people, right? I have a video, a lot of people watch this video of mine, where I'm speaking at a podium. The hotel gave me a podium, and the mic was attached to, I don't like speaking at a podium, but it was attached to the podium. Oh my God, that podium, you remind me of the assemblies. All these associations, right? So just remember, as you find yourself in life, you have to be confident in you. You have to believe in you, because you're going to come across a certain way to somebody. Like a girl that's really, really, really attractive, really pretty girl who's shy is going to be told she's stuck up. She's just shy. I know people like that. No, she's wonderful. She's just shy. Oh, she's so stuck up. No, she's just shy. Right? But people have their projections. So don't rely on other people for you to think what you think about you. Walk in your confidence with who you are. And it's okay if everybody doesn't like you. See, as a witness, you were supposed to be liked by everybody because everybody's playing a role. And you were hanging out with people, you were working out in service with somebody you would never hang out with in real life. Right? You're 20 years old, oh, this is my friend, brother so-and-so, and he's like 75. That's not your friend. It's okay to be you. Some of you are going to jive, some of you are not going to. Everybody's not supposed to like you in the real world or jive with you. But as witnesses, if you were of the same tribe, then you're supposed to jive, right? No, that's not the way it works. That's why it's so hard for us to make friends sometimes, because of the way our minds are programmed. And here's the next thing that ex-witnesses struggle with: friendships. The reason why ex-witnesses struggle with friendships is because you confuse camaraderie and comrades for friends. These were your comrades, not your friends. What happens when you get a bunch of money and you join the $100,000 a year country club? They give you a reception, introduce you to everybody. Like, oh, wonderful, I got these 200 new friends. And your money came from Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes down. Lost your money, can't afford to be in the country club anymore. Where are these friends? Whether you're friends or your comrades. See, witnesses were your comrades. Understand that true friends draw closer to you in your most desperate times. When you've lost your way, friends get closer to you. When you're making bad choices, friends get you on the right track. When you're down and out, friends are there for you. Where were witnesses when you lost your way? When you're making bad choices. Like if I have a friend today that I know maybe their history, if they had a drug addiction, okay? Something happens in their life. Wife runs off. Mother passes away a month later. His life's in tatters. And say that person starts using again. Now, what I understand is that person has a neurological connection in his brain that says at this level of pain, this is what we turn to. I understand that. But when you're a witness, I say this guy goes on a bender for a month. When you're a witness, the guy goes, brother so-and-so, I need to talk to you. What's up? Yeah, you know, I had drug issues a decade ago and I fell off the wagon. Oh, well, brother, how many times did you do these drugs? Oh, man, like every day for like a month. Every day. I'm an addict. That person's going to be disfellowship. Well, it doesn't sound like you're repentant. It's been a month. That person in their time of need is going to be cast out. And what does he have to turn to? Well, the friends he used to hang out with. That guy's life will absolutely go down the toilet because he's cut off from the people that could actually support him and lift him back up. Those aren't friends. Those are comrades. This is the first time in your life that you get to find true friends. And I'm not saying none of the witnesses were true friends. Like those that bend the rules, that's true friends. You might have a couple of them like that. But for the most part, those weren't your friends. Those were your comrades. You'll even find that some of your family were family, but never friends. I found that about my ex-wife. She was a wife, not a friend. Well, she was a beautiful wife, but never my friend. So now you have a chance to make new friends. Now, why is it so difficult to make friends? Well, because of the way your mind is programmed. Could I get some water? When you were a witness, you knew 80% of somebody's life before they said hello. Why do you think all of you bonded so quickly? Because there's a big portion of your life that you mutually understand. So if I were to meet you, like I didn't know you and I'm visiting from out of town and I meet you, well, at least when I was young, I know what you do on Tuesday night. I know what you do on Thursday night. I know what you do on Saturday morning. I know what you do on Sunday morning. I know what you think about morality. I know what you think about politics. And I know if your skirt's too short. I know if your hair's too long. I know you're not supposed to have that facial hair, right? All these things that you know. And then your mind is trained to only accept people that you know that well. Everybody else you don't trust. You see what I'm saying? Like if I meet a new person, I don't know anything about you, that makes me not trust you. I don't know your sexual orientation. You worldly person. I don't know which way you go on that. I have no idea. You might throw a wrench at me. I'm not ready for this. I don't trust anything I see. I don't trust you. And you were taught to not trust people. You see, you don't get rid of programming like that. It doesn't work like that. If somebody was raised by bigoted parents, say, okay? Parents didn't like black people. And they were taught all these negative things. And then those kids go to college and go, this is so not true. Wow, my best friend is black. Okay, I totally throw out everything my parents told me because I just see differently. I don't see what they said, and I know they're wrong. My parents are bigots. And then this guy's sister starts dating a brother. I mean, when I say brother, I mean black man. And then something comes up in this man. Like, why does this bother me? I shouldn't feel this way. Why does it bother me? She's dating somebody of color. Why does it? Because that was bred into that person. And at some level, it's still in there. And it's the same way like you when you call somebody worldly. For a couple decades of your life, you called everybody worldly. You think that just goes away? Was it weird for somebody the first time you had a worldly person in your house? Oh, you like, they're going to steal something? I got a worldly person in my house. Oh my God, I'm going to have a dinner with a worldly person. I remember when I was a kid, and this is so funny because the best behaved kids I knew as you know, when I was growing up was Scott and Glenn Oyer. They lived 2 houses from me. They weren't witnesses. Excellent parents. Like they would correct me sometimes. Like they were excellent, very present parents. But I wasn't supposed to go in their house because they're worldly. All my witness friends were double lifers. Oh my God, they smoked weed, they was having sex, but I couldn't go into Scott and Glenn's house. And they were the best kids I knew. And a couple of times I snuck up in there. And their mom was so nice, baking us cookies. And I go, oh my God. Worldly cookies. And looking back, these were the best kids I knew growing up. But you see the prejudice we get put in our heads? And we think we're so different because we were treated so different. And all these things affect you. All the times you had to sit in the corner of the classroom when they were eating cupcakes at somebody's birthday. That affects you. So different. We would have these little school dances in grade school. And I'm in the classroom all by myself. They're out in the cafeteria doing this little school dance. I mean, all those kinds of things affect you. So you wonder why it's hard to make friends and embrace people. So if that's hard for you, remember this. Stop thinking of yourself as so different. Everybody's different for their own reasons. There are people that were never witnesses that feel very different just because of the way they were raised, or they came from a different country, trying to fit into American culture. Everybody's got this story. So be curious. That's how you're going to solve this. Be curious about people because witnesses aren't curious. When you have the truth, you stop being curious. You simply defend what you know. There's no curiosity in having the truth. With the witnesses, like your race and everything about you is being a witness. It's like your prejudice against everything else except this. This becomes your race, this is your nationality, this is everything for you. And you just accept things in that circle. But when you become curious, witnesses aren't curious, they're not on people's doors, it's a one-way street. I talk to you, you don't talk back to me. You take my literature, I'm not taking yours. You ever go house to house and somebody was really nice, go, oh, wonderful. I'll take your, let me take your, and I got some stuff from my church, and how about you read my stuff, I'll read yours, and we'll come back and, okay, it went straight in the trash, didn't it? I took it a few times, straight in the trash. Or you don't, oh no. You're fumbling around with your words because you know it's something in your subconscious said, that's not right. Isn't life supposed to be reciprocal?
Don't even touch it.
Right? Oh God, we just thought everything had something. Yeah. Demonic, right? Yeah. Everything was demonic, right? I remember there was a time when I was a teen, they made everything demonic. You couldn't even listen to music. Don't listen to KISS, because it stands for Knights in Satan Service. Don't listen to AC/DC. After Christ, the devil comes. Crazy stuff. Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yeah, well, yeah, he gave people problems because he was actually knocking on doors too. He didn't know what to do with him. You know, my oldest brother and sister actually went to Kingdom Hall with the Jacksons. My cousin married a kind of Calabasas cousin of theirs, and they took the house and all that. And another story. You go ahead, a funny story.
Yeah.
Totally off subject. Totally off subject. It's a funny story. My brother was supposed to give Prince his wedding vows. Funny story. I'm just throwing this in there. So we were living in Maui at the time. My brother used to work for me. So my brother, being an elder, he's on the stage giving the public talk. Prince comes walking in the Kingdom Hall. Him and Larry Graham, he used to play the bass for Sly and the Family Stone. He's an elder. They walk in the Kingdom Hall. And my brother almost forgot what he was saying because he was a big Prince fan when we were kids. So they had rented a house in Maui for like 4 months. So they were coming to the Kingdom Hall, every Sunday. So my brother really never got to know Prince, but he got to know Graham real well. So they were there for about 4 months and then they left. And the Graham calls my brother a couple of months after they left. Hey, brother, welcome. We're doing a wedding on New Year's Day in Maui, and I'm not licensed to do the vows, so I'll give the talk, and could you give the vows on it? My brother, like a big dummy, goes, all you gotta do is go online and blah, 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 tell them how to do it. Then he hangs up the phone, he goes, I wonder if that was Prince. Comes January 1st or January 2nd, he goes online, Prince got married in Maui on that day. Totally off subject, but I think it was a funny story. But friendships, getting back to it, understand this about friendships. When you were a witness, you thought it was natural to keep all your friends your whole life. Because I had friends from the time I was 7, 8, 9 years old to when I left in my 30s. Okay? You think it's natural to have all these friends and you confuse friendship with community. It's not natural. People go through phases. They have friends and they move on to other friends and they move on to other friends. But we thought we were supposed to hold on to all these friends forever. So when we lose our community, we feel very lost. We feel very lost. Understand that most people don't have this huge community that witnesses have. Most people have 3 or 4 really good friends. And if you can have 3 or 4 really good friends, you're blessed. Friends that you can count on. Friends that won't gossip on you. Friends that will defend your name when you're not there. So all these witness friends, if you did something, you on the blacklist, they talking about you in field service. They're talking about you in field service. They gossip a lot, right? So you may not have ever had a lot of really great friends. And as you go out there, stop trying to replace your community and look for a few genuine friends. Now, you might in time find a community. You see, a community comes from something you're associated with. So if you join a church, you might find a community. If you join some kind of Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, something that's doing stuff for the community, you might find your community. It's not something that most people naturally have. So stop confusing your community with friendship. And then look for reasons. Get curious about people. You know what people like to talk about? The most? Themselves. So get curious. Some people want to act like I'm so not wanting to tell people I was a witness. How many people feel like that sometimes? It's just weird. I don't want to feel like a freak. You'll find that people are actually curious. That most people are curious. It's fascinating to them. So don't be afraid to say, I grew up this way. Talk about it. It's okay. Talk about it. And if you really want to make friends, just get involved and do things. Just go for it and do it. Get involved with things that you love. Get involved with things that are calling to you. Another issue when you were a witness for so long is being closed-minded and having black and white thinking. Get curious. It's just information. See, when you're a witness, you throw everything out, right? If you didn't believe one part of a philosophy, you threw it all out. Where you can just look at information. You can decide what works for you and what doesn't. You have that power. Get curious. In life, there is gray. Not everything's not black and white. You don't have to throw everything out. There is a lot of gray in life. Stop looking for the truth. There's only growth. What is true? What was true 100 years ago is not true today, is it? And I promise you this, it'll be even more so in the next 100 years. So just look for growth. What do witnesses say all the time? Well, if this isn't the truth, then what is? Listen, everything's going to change. They'll discover things about, and they do. If you really study history, they discover things all the time that shatters whatever you've been thinking. Whatever we believe is wrong. I tell you that right now, with no hesitation, that we know nothing. We know this much about history and about the way things really work. We try to understand everything through the 5 senses we have as human beings. Who said there's only 5 senses? Ponder this one. If we only had 4 senses and we could not see, how many things would be true that we had no idea of? No idea. Things right in front of us we wouldn't even know. So open your mind. Open your mind knowing there's so much more for you to learn. And be consumed with growth so you don't stay the same person. Again, as a witness is exactly the same person at 80 as they were at 30. They don't change at all. I can look at my own parents. They were the same people my whole life. I love them, but there's no growth because I have the truth. What is it to learn when you have the truth? You don't learn anything. So just be open to growth. Be open to growth. Another issue when you come out of that religion like that is the issue of self-love. It's the biggest thing. Not loving yourself. Feeling like you're so flawed and so little. And that's the furthest from the truth. Why would you not love yourself? You just told a story that's covering the truth about you. You want the truth. The truth is you're amazing. Greatness is your birthright. It's your birthright. Would you rather live in a world? See, a lot of people have a hard time with that. I have a hard time saying that about myself. It just feels so conceited. Would you rather live in a world that people put each other down and people put themselves down? Or would you rather live in a world where people see what's great within them and they see what's great about their neighbor? Which world would be a more positive place to live in? Then you can live in your fullness and say, this is my gift. Again, your gift is not about you. In that poem I recited yesterday, I said, this gift is not for you. Your gift is for us all. So consider it as selfishness if you don't heed your call. You see what I'm saying there? You've ripped the world off if you did not deliver your gift.
For me, if I was still pumping septic systems and not something about my hand, this is going on here.
I was still pumping septic systems for a living. I've ripped every one of you off. If I wasn't standing here right now delivering this message, which in my view is coming through me, not about me, I ripped you off. I came here, I lived, and I took my gift to the grave. Another quote by Miss Maya Angelou is this: there's no greater agony than the burying of an untold story left within, which means too many people live an entire lifetime and take their gift to the grave. You've ripped humanity off. Quote, there's no greater agony than the burying of an untold story left within. I'm going to tell you this story so maybe it inspires you. You know what inspired me to become a speaker and do what I do now? I was in Atlanta, Georgia. This is 2009. January of 2009. And I was visiting my cousin, and she went to work, and I just was looking for something to do that day. So I went down to an area called the King District. That's Martin Luther King. Museum is there. His house that he grew up in is up the street. The city bought the street, so it looks like it was years ago. All the houses look the same. The church he preached at, the fire station he used to hang out, all this stuff. And his tomb is there in this swimming pool above the pool. And it just so happened that I was there on the same day that Barack Obama was inaugurated. I didn't plan it that day, I just happened to be there that day. So you can imagine the energy was thick. And I was sitting on a wall or something. I was by his tomb. And I was thinking, wow, there's no bigger reason why this day is happening than that man that's been in that box for 40 years. And at that point I said, I want to live that kind of life. Because he only lived 39 years. He changed the world. So what can each of us do if we truly live our gift? Why is that person any greater than you or me? It's just someone that saw their calling and lived in accordance, in alignment with a calling. So how great are you? And one thing I can tell you, if we keep telling ourselves small stories, if we keep lacking self-love, if we keep putting ourselves down, if we keep pushing away compliments, if we keep thinking too small of ourselves, we will never be able to live in that fullness. And it's in every single one of you. Can you tell me why not? Can you tell me why not? Who can tell me why not? Raise your hand if you can tell me why not. Raise your hand if you got a small story and you can really make sense of that story, other than it's something that was put on you. Or if something was put on you, you can put something else on it. Who remembers the days of the cassette tape? Ooh, I used to love my Maxell cassette tapes. And I was a good one, and I couldn't afford to buy new ones. So what did we do? We re-recorded over this song. Oh, now we got some new jams. Then you get on this, right? We re-recorded over it. So what do you need to do? Re-record over it. And one thing I can tell you, if your main concern is what the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing,
you're re-recording nothing.
This is why we run the group the way we do, because we know this. You've got to change your focus if you want your life to change. You've got to change your conversation. You've got to change your words. So from this day, let's get rid of the witness words. Guess what I call a Kingdom Hall?
A building.
A church. Because that's what it is. I don't call people worldly. They're people. No different from me and you. I don't call it the truth because it's clearly not. A religion that has been in existence since 1879, but I can't read one book that's more than 10 years old and it apply. Every bit of their literature for over 100 years, it's admittedly false. And it's the truth. No, it's not. Lose the language. Lose the reverence. When you come across, and I spoke on this yesterday, when you come across them, see yourself as bigger than them. Not because you're better, because you worked at it. It's okay to be bigger if you worked at it. It's okay to be smarter if you read more books. You know what I mean? If you put the work in. Why are you going to be intimidated? When you see a witness in their cart, you know everything they know, don't you? You could say, hey, go take a break. I'll play a role. I know how to do this. Witnesses will talk to you like you never were a witness. My dad does that. My dad goes, you know, son, what we believe. We believe. I did this for 35 years. Nothing new you're going to tell me. So see yourself as bigger and see that shrinking smaller and smaller. Understand you have something to deliver this world. And somebody, we're going to do more of this later on, but somebody just raise your hand. Let me know what you have to deliver, what your gift is.
Planting seeds.
Yeah. And you have a glow about you. It's obvious. You have found yourself, haven't you? Yeah. Right? It's obvious. You know. And what she's achieved, every one of you can achieve. Can you look at her and see? She's like good. Yeah, I could see that from the moment I saw you. Right. That's why she raised her hand so quick. Okay? Right? Let me tell you somebody else who's found themselves. Debbie, tell us about you, because I know you found you. Can you see that she's found herself? Yeah. Right? And not every single one of you can step into that. But the first thing is the desire of, don't get frustrated because you don't know yet. You see, remember this in life. Know what you want and know why you want it. Two things you need. You know what you don't need is the how. But start with the desire of, and once you have the desire, you'll find the what. When you find the what, you add the why. That gives you the power. That's like the fuel. And once you go in that direction, the how will appear in the form of people, opportunity, and circumstances that are not on your plate yet. The things that change your life is not even on your radar. For some of you, being here this weekend is a thing that will help change your life. And you didn't know that before you came. So just keep moving in the direction of, let me give you something that was told to you while you were a witness and you missed the whole time, because it was actually in the Bible, right? And the witnesses did this hijack scripture. Remember that scripture that said, faith without works is dead? Faith without works is dead. What was the works when you were a witness? Girl service, what else? Meeting, all the witness stuff, right? But does it sound more true if I said, what it means is, if you believe something, you move as if it's already so. If your actions are not in accordance with what you say you want, then you really didn't believe in the first place. Does that make more sense? So start applying that in your life. You don't just start moving. If you want to know what your purpose is, if you feel a calling to volunteer, go volunteer. Don't wait for things to come to you. Go do it. If you've got a way that you add value to people's lives, go do it. More things will open up. You see, when you were a witness, you say, well, if it's God's will, if it's Jehovah's will, it'll happen. And if it doesn't happen, it wasn't Jehovah's will. Then why are you praying in the first place? You ain't changing the mind of, whatever you believed in. No. You are the creator of your reality with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your words. So in closing, I want to say, stay focused, stay true to yourself. You don't need affirmation, validation from anyone else. The first person that needs to believe in you is you. Thank you.